The man who we had not seen in 2 decades showed up at the barber shop minutes after talking about him and saying his name. This is Paranormal Christian. Let's tell stories. Today I have a story for you and a theory, and I have a question. What is telepathy? What is mind reading? What is it to pick up on the thoughts of another person? Is it even possible? Is it real? What's going on with this? One day I was sitting in the barber's chair, and my barber, who I also attended high school with, my barber and I began to tell stories about some of our classmates. And I asked him about a particular individual, and I said, I haven't seen him for many, many years. And he said, well, he moved out of state right after high school. He said, as far as I know, that's still where he's living. And we began to talk about this individual. Well, pretty soon I was done with my haircut, and I got out of the barber's chair, and I got in my car, and I left. Just a few minutes later, my phone rang, and it was my barber, my friend, and he said, bro, he said, you're not going to believe who just walked into the barber shop and sat down in my chair. He's sitting right here. And I don't have to tell you who it was. It's exactly who we were talking about. This became an ongoing discussion for my barber and I, how you can talk about somebody that you haven't seen in years, or a conversation will take place and then that person calls, whatever the case. I would love to hear from you if you have some of these as well. And we've been talking about the fact that it's almost too much for coincidence. What in the world is going on? Have you ever known what somebody was going to say before they said it? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been driving along in your car and suddenly you start to sing a song that maybe has not been on your mind? And you turn the radio on only to find that that song is playing on the radio, the one that you had just heard inside of your mind. Well, I have a theory. This is my telepathy theory. I'm not talking about pursuing psychic activity. I'm not talking about trying to communicate with the dead or trying to read people's fortunes, anything like that. These are things that the Bible strictly forbids. What I am talking about is the natural observance of just these types of things that I've just been sharing with you, because sometimes they seem to be more than just coincidence. This is my thought. Let's start with the radio. Every song that's being played on the radio, every program that comes through our television, even phone conversations, I can't hear them right now, but do you know they are all in the air around me right now? All of those songs from every radio station in our local area up to, an hour or so away, all of those are in the air right now simultaneously. How can I find them? Well, I've got to tune in my dial to the right frequency. Whenever I get the frequency matched on the receiving end with the giving end, when those frequencies match, all of a sudden, that sound is picked out of all of the other thousands or tens of thousands of sounds, and I can hear it playing through my stereo system by way of radio. I have wondered many times, our brains work electronically. Our body is operated by sending out electronic impulse. We run on energy, and we're putting off all kinds of frequencies all the time. That's what we're doing. That's how we exist. I have thought to myself, with this radio thing of hearing a song in your mind, you start to sing it and then you turn the radio on and it's there. I thought, why could my brain not pick up on some of these sounds that are in the air? To me, it seems quite plausible. Maybe I picked up on that particular frequency. Now, this theory gets into a lot of ifs, because I've got some ifs that are going to build on top of other ifs. But I think it's interesting, and this is what I tend to believe. I believe that we can pick up on frequencies of these things that are in the air all around us. I believe that many of the things which people have called psychic are not psychic at all. I believe it is just us accessing something that probably everybody is accessing, and maybe science has not fully realized it yet, but it's happening. I believe we're probably actually hearing those sounds, those songs that are on the radio, and we happen to be on that frequency. If I am right, If we can pick up those frequencies, we're probably also sending out those frequencies. Could it be possible that that day in my barber's chair, our longtime no-see friend, our longtime no-see classmate, was in the area? When we started talking about him, he was already on his way to the barber shop. This was minutes later. Here he is driving to the barber shop. He's thinking about the barber shop. And we begin to think about him. This may be too far out for somebody, but I cannot help but think if somehow some frequencies were matched up and he came to be on our minds. I wonder what you think about this theory. Do you think that we're able to pick up on frequencies in the air around us, radio frequencies and programs maybe that would show up on the television? And if so, do you think we're also sending out frequencies? If that is the case, couldn't somebody's frequencies match? And couldn't I pick up on something that you're putting out, or vice versa? Anyway, those are my thoughts on telepathy, not psychic activity, but something natural that I believe is probably taking place. What are your thoughts? Would you comment below or go to paranormalchristian.com, fill out the contact form, and let us know your experiences with telepathy and thinking of something before someone said it, or a radio song that is on, or a friend showing up. We would love to hear it and just to consider. And so keep those stories coming and keep them PC.